There's a lot of exciting things happening in Kingfisher this Christmas season, like a 50-foot Christmas tree. We're going to talk about where it came from, how much it cost, and who paid for it on this episode of the All About Kingfisher Show. What were you thinking, Jim?
Well, I'll tell you, Jack, first of all, this is the 12th Christmas tree I've brought.
Oh, so you've got experience with this.
I've had experience.
Okay.
I've done this in Colorado, I did it in Maine, and I did it in Rhode Island. And I put 3 trees in Claremore, Oklahoma on the other side of the state. So this isn't my first rodeo.
Okay.
I love the Christmas holidays. I know the excitement that comes from kids when they see that tree light up. They come down and spend some time in the Christmas holiday festivities. And I was inspired many years ago by what they do at the Rockefeller Center in New York.
Yeah, it's almost like the marquee tree of our country.
It is. And I get excited every year. I try to watch it on TV. And many years ago, I've been in this business 30 years, but this is only my 12th tree. I said to myself, why can't we do it in our community? We're just as big as New York City.
Yeah.
And so that's what inspired me with my first tree. I've been here a year and a half, and I felt impressed with what I saw last year with Winter Nights. Reached out to Chase Farrar and the Winter Nights group and met with them in August and showed them some pictures of trees that I brought in other communities and said to them, you know, can we partner in this? I'll help you raise money. I'll help you get the trucking company to help move that tree. We're going to need a crane. I said, it's basically a military operation. And they chuckled and they said, man, you've got enthusiasm. We're with you 100%.
Yep.
And
so where did you find the tree? Where did the tree come from?
The 3 trees I brought to Claremore come from a town about 1,100 miles from here in Minton, Michigan. Dutchman Tree Farms. They have 10,000 acres up there. But trees this size are specialty trees, and so they don't have a lot of them, but they searched, and I spent a whole day up there traveling around northern Michigan looking at different trees. I'm very particular. Every tree that I brought, I personally have handpicked. And I stayed at the owner of the tree farm at his home, so there was no expense to the city. The only expense to the city has been my airfare and my car rental. I flew into Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I go about 120 miles north of Grand Rapids on a rental car.
It's kind of like an insurance policy. Make sure you're getting the right tree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ironically, Oklahoma City reached out to me when I was in Claremore and wanted to do the same thing in Oklahoma City. And so I gave them Dutchman Tree Farms' phone number, and they reached out to them. Then Dutchman reached back to me and said, hey, are you cool with us working with Oklahoma City? And I said, hey, anybody that can get a Christmas tree, brighten some smiles. And so they've been doing it. After I retired from Claremore, they continued doing it. And the couple of days I was in Michigan, I saw the tree they're getting. It's a beautiful tree. I don't know how much they're paying for it. I don't know how they're trucking it. But it's a little bit bigger than this one. It's a 65-footer. Ours is a 50-foot. And it's just been a great tradition. I have thoroughly enjoyed it.
So how did you get moving a tree like this has got to be expensive. How did you manage that?
Yeah. The tree farm gets a crane up there because they have to hold the tree while it gets cut. Then they run it through a cone and wrap the rope around it.
We saw that when it came in.
Yes.
It had a thing around it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's how you'd have to transport it. And then I reached out to high pressure transport here in Kingfisher.
Right.
Evan Winters, and I said, Evan, I got this crazy idea. I've done it in other communities. I showed him some pictures, and he said, Jim, he says, we'll do it free, pro bono.
Wow.
And I said, that's awesome.
Wow.
And then we had to reach out to Tony's Plumbing and Supply here in Kingfisher.
Tony Pump and Supply, yep.
Yep. They donated the crane,
Yep.
and they were here for 3 or 4 hours.
Cranes are expensive, so a donation like that, well, even the trucking, the donation like that was enormous.
I would estimate the trucking, because it's 1,100 miles up there empty. They had to deadhead a truck.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And then bring it back. And he had a couple of hotel rooms. I would estimate that the trucking company spent at least $5,000.
Wow. All free.
All free, all pro bono,
expense to the
no
city.
expenses. Same thing with the crane company. They donated their whole afternoon.
And they had a whole crew out here.
They had a whole crew out here. They had a supervisor, they had a crane operator. The business community says, hey, if the city's willing to partner with us, we're willing to partner with them. And I've just been fortunate that Winter Nights said, hey, Jim, we'll take care of the lights. We'll pay for the tree. And if you could help us with everything else. So really the only cost that's cost the city of Kingfisher is my airfare and car rental. And everything else has been donated.
It's a very, very important element of this. And it is what a spectacle like this does to our tourism in Kingfisher. Now, I did some checking before I got here. The average person from out of town, I'm talking it could be from Hennessy, I mean that close, will spend on the average $140 while they're in this community. So that's dinner, family of four, dinner, which that's probably $150 all by itself nowadays. Dinner, maybe some gas, they go to a convenience store, whatever, and then do that times, say, even just 1,000. And that's an enormous amount of money influx into our community that we wouldn't have had if we didn't have something for them to come and see.
And what I've learned over the years, every dollar spent in the community is turned over 7 times. That's just basic economics. They're hiring other employees, they're paying fuel costs, electric costs, and those other things. And so it's not only a boom economically, but it rallies the community. And you're going to see, as in every community I've been in, people will come from miles around because we have a train here that will carry visitors. We have a 1-mile train. The city stepped up to the plate. We made some maintenance improvements on it. We got those completed last week.
I think the other thing that I didn't realize until I got into economic development and things like that is that when you bring in tourism money, that's new money. That's not money that's already been circulating.
Right.
Like I have my heat and air fixed. I give that money to the heat and air guy that's in town. Well, this is new money that's come in that wasn't here. And that's very, very important to economic development for our community. So awesome. Jim, thank you so much for doing this. We're going to take a quick break, and when I come back, we're going to talk about how this thing got paid for.
This show made possible in part by F&M Bank, fmbankok.com, and Chisholm Trail Technology Center, cttc.edu.
And we're back. And I have Chase Farrar with me, and you are the president of Kingfisher Winter Nights?
Correct.
Is that correct? All right, so right up front, who paid for the tree? How did the tree come about?
Yeah, so the tree, we kind of have several different avenues for that. This year we had about a dozen businesses in the community that sponsored it. We also have money we collect at the back gate that
so every
that we
time
have
you
as well.
come through with that bucket, people put your
A couple dollars at a
money in the
time goes a
bucket?
long ways.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, and so how many? I guess you were telling me before how many come through here each season.
We did about a last 3-year average is right at about 5,000 cars, which we guesstimate at 20,000 people in the cars. But we also have a bunch of people that walk through that we don't count. So there's a significant number of walkers as well.
Wow. So if you back up to that number I told you before, I miscalculated the heck out of that. So, and you were saying that a lot of those aren't from here.
Yeah, when you work the back gate, it's pretty interesting. I kind of think I know everybody in town, but you work back there and you don't know anybody that comes through because they're all out of town.
Yeah.
So I'd say pushing 80% of those people are out of town.
So that brings us back to that tourism money thing we were talking about, that how important this is for economic development and tourism dollars, and how you generate tourism dollars with things like this.
Yep.
So what's your opinion of this? This is crazy. So this brings new people more
For sure.
to your event.
So you said crazy. Jim came to us in a meeting and I thought, this guy, he's crazy. What is he talking about?
He's kind of crazy, but.
So we met about it. We talked about it. There's a board of 7. We all voted on it. Everybody was on board. We paid for the tree. It was a $7,000 tree.
Okay.
And then the lights that go on it are going to be, right now we've spent about $3,000 on the lights.
Yep.
So we'll have about 10 in all, and we think we'll recoup that with the additional visitors we'll have this year.
Just with the something new to look at. You know, when you do public events like this, you got to jiggle them once in a while, or it's the same old thing.
Yep.
And this is a wonderful new addition. In fact, it looks like it's growing there. it just fits. And so by adding something to your event, now you've got a whole another new audience.
Correct.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what that does for your.
Yeah, we keep number at the back gate, so it'll be interesting to see what this year turns out.
So you've been making a lot of changes to Winter Nights. What's new this year? Now I know they revamped the train, so the train is going to be really, really cool this year. What else is going on?
So of course we bought the tree. We have I think it's a 13-foot tall, it's a 3D Santa that we'll put in the back corner by the bridge. Oh. And then we bought a new display. It's Santa and his reindeer. And then also it's an elf with some lights.
Yep.
Between those three things, it was $25,000 for those displays.
Wow.
So.
And it's amazing what you can do with community funds. With
a lot of that money is donated money.
Tourism and community funds, again, no cost to the city. This is just money that the community generated from tourism dollars and from donations.
Correct.
To do these kind of things.
Yep. Then each year also we have a couple businesses come out. Cimarron Electric comes out and hangs lights in the trees for us. They had about 20 guys, and then Devon Energy sent 20 one day, and we did about 6 hours of work that day as well. So we have a lot of guys come out and help.
It's like the business support, the guys with the lift trucks and things like that.
Correct.
Just make it so much easier than climbing up trees and things like that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of getting up 50. I'm good at about 25. I'm not good at 50 though.
Oh, awesome.
So opening night, we are having the high school choirs coming out, and they're going to sing some songs.
Okay.
And then we'll of course have opening night. We'll have we'll have some young kids going to flip the switch, turn the light on. Okay. And then we will be open until December 28th this year. Usually we end at Christmas, but this year we're going to go to the Saturday following.
Extended viewing thing.
Correct.
Very, very cool. Chase, thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, thank you.
And we're really looking forward to what kind of a spectacle you're going to create this year.
Yep, a lot of extension cords around still, so we're getting close.
We'll be right back.
This show made possible in part by Cimarron Electric, CimarronElectric.com, and Pioneer, GoPioneer.com.
And we're back. Jim, I'm so excited for you to be able to do this for Kingfisher, and you were just telling me about the Grinch isn't coming to Kingfisher this year.
That's right. The Grinch will not steal Christmas in Kingfisher, Oklahoma. It's been an honor for me to serve as the city manager the last year and a half, work with the business community. They have truly stepped up to the plate, in my opinion. For a community this size, 5,000 people, we put on quite a party. I've enjoyed working with Chase and the Winter Nights committee. As he said earlier, November 30th, 6 o'clock. Be here. I will be here to welcome everybody. We'll have music. They'll have food trucks. There'll be a true spirit of Christmas. Santa should show up. I understand he's coming in for a pit stop. And I guess long after I'm gone, when I retire, if Winter Nights was to call me up and say, hey, Jim, would you mind helping us out find another Christmas tree? I would pick up the tab from my own airfare and rental or whatever it costs and go pick it up, because this community means a lot to me. And I know that for a community this size, we're competing with Chicago, Detroit, Oklahoma City, New York City, and it just makes me proud to call Kingfisher home.
Well, thank you for what you're doing and your vision. Chase, thank you for all of what your organization does, because everybody in the region knows about Kingfisher Winter Nights, and it's all because of the community and how they've stepped up and how they support these things. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Jack.
All right.